well. Meantime, the International Atomic Energy Agency says it believes an enrichment facility in Natanz, which is Iran's largest, has been hit by Israeli strikes. The IAEA added there is no further update on Esfahan and Fordo, along with other nuclear sites in Iran. Let's get out to Dan Smith, Director, Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. Dan, thank you very much for joining us. Let me start with President Trump, because he's now calling for this unconditional surrender. How do you see that demand playing out?
I think it's quite unlikely that the Iranian Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, will agree to an unconditional surrender. I think the default mode for the Iranian government since the Shah was overthrown at the end of the 1970s has been to defy. There was, of course, the moment at the end of the 1980s when the then leader Khomeini accepted a ceasefire he called drinking from a poisoned chalice, a ceasefire with Iraq. But I really don't see an unconditional surrender as being within, if you like, the Iranian political religious DNA.
The news flow has also told us that there's been a direct threat now that the president has made against Iran's supreme leader. How do you see that going down in terms of the Iranian will to keep on fighting?
Well, I think the whole image before us is of a proud nation, Iran, which has been under extreme economic pressure for 20 years, pressure that was not really very significantly relieved during the period when the Iran nuclear deal was active. A regime which, with all of its, not just flaws, but with all of the really repressive and anti-democratic sides and its aggressive role within the region, has nonetheless been transparent about its nuclear development program, allowing the IAEA, under controlled conditions under the agreement, under the Iran nuclear deal, to look at what it was doing and to report on it internationally. And it is just under, as Trump put it in his first administration, facing a policy of extreme pressure and of unrelenting hostility from Israel. So from the Iranian point of view, I think there is nothing that they can do that pleases their adversaries, that appeases them, that eases the pressure. So I think that the threat, or the potential threat to the life of the supreme leader, is seen within that continuum. Just as the bombing at the moment and the deaths, and just as the assassination program against Iranian nuclear scientists over the past couple of decades, it's seen within a continuum of this pressure, which, as a proud nation, they need to stand up against. And I'm really seriously concerned, because I think that you're going to have a large population with a very large number of angry, hurt, aggrieved people, well organized. The Revolutionary Guards, although it's much weakened compared to maybe a few years ago, is still a significant and impressive organization. And I'm really concerned about the amount of damage which they can do in a completely different way from this military standoff that we're seeing at the moment, or military combat and confrontation that we're seeing at the moment.